A lot. That's like a bush pilot, isn't it? All right.
Verse. Strange phenomena
Let's check this
ranging
shit out.
from extraterrestrial incidents,
Oops.
rarities found in nature, and of course, the presence of spiritual entities. Something very similar to this is what awaits you today. A compilation of the most incredible footage that has been sent to my email. That of the presence of what seems to be a witch in a disturbing exploration where I will show you something never before recorded that stands out and
if you have a channel that you like to watch, link it. I'll check it out
and this
at some point.
That
sounds kind of cool.
Secret. Today we present Witches, Ghosts, and Stars.
The Witch's Brew. 90 minutes of driving a day, like both ways, or just one way each 90 minutes. It is a lot either way, I guess. Yeah, like the Bart in San Fran.
Investigation corresponds precisely to the odd experience
lived
by a young YouTuber named
not the
Paco
best.
Medrano. His channel, called En la Oscuridad con Paco, uploads explorations almost without editing. In fact, most of his tours are of dark and desolate places. Explorations that are done live and direct, offering the necessary feedback for his followers, who do not miss any of his updates. And of course, it gives his audience
is that an expo video?
That what they are seeing is not fake. It was in one of his lives in Mexico where in the dark his camera began to capture an incredible manifestation that to this day he cannot forget. Watch closely.
Watch closely.
¿Nos acercamos, amigo? A ver, vamos. Creo que Luis ya la vio. Ah, su pinche madre. ¡Ah, no mames!
Mira.
Va corriendo, güey.
Yeah, we watched Next One a few times.
Pinche madre,
I mean, I've seen all his videos. I've seen that one too. I don't know if I'm feeling it tonight, but we'll definitely do all some of the next post stuff at some point.
Trae el fuego en la cabeza.
Isn't that the one that mentions what the worlds and stuff?
A la madre, güey.
The Tommy and Vinny one, right?
Es Ghost Rider, güey, no se mamen.
The Ghost Rider.
A la madre, güey. A ver, vamos, ¿no? ¿Quién le está echando la luz, güey? Porque se distorsiona.
What were we supposed to be looking at? Someone lighting themselves on fire?
Paco and his friends are sure that a witch was there doing some kind of ritual that night. Notice how it looks as if she set herself on fire. They claim to feel hunted in some sort of perverse game, and that it reached its peak when the light-robed figure.
How can you even tell? There's like 3 pixels.
How can you explain something like this? Both Paco and his friends do not have a conclusive answer. Number 3. Do you remember the last security video on this channel? Well, in it, I showed you the clip of a strange light that was wandering through a cellar. There I mentioned another recording that I was analyzing, which is terrifyingly similar. The following recording was sent by Jefran Gabriel, a subscriber from St. Augustine, Florida, who sent me a disturbing situation that occurred during the wee hours of the morning at his home.
The wee hours.
Having security cameras both inside
That's
and
definitely
outside,
like one of her.
He almost never had them functioning.
Her
Although
sayings.
one night he felt uncomfortable, worried about something, and with a notion of vulnerability, which is why he decided to turn them on. A decision that gave him the opportunity to observe something that, according to him, was absolutely inexplicable. Watch.
It's just like a pot. What even is that? Looks like the Fresno Nightcrawler. Yeah, what's up, Strawberry? Thanks for the raid. How you doing? It's just like an orb.
At first, he thought it was a camera error. However, when observed more closely, it is seen as a levitating candle. It seems to be recognizing and tracking the things that were inside. It spent several minutes moving, as you saw in the video, to finally go into the ceiling and disappear.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Although he cannot be sure, the man thinks that that light corresponds to an extraterrestrial technology.
What?
In fact, he remembers a couple of dreams where someone comes to look for him to work. The following morning, he woke up extremely tired, so much that he was lacking at his real job. What terrifies me the most, it is exactly the same light, technology, or entity recorded on the other side of the world.
Oh, yeah.
Could it be a pattern? Will it continue to happen? Only time will tell. I will be more attentive to my email now for more cases like these.
I thought this was supposed to be about
Number
witches,
2.
like lighting themselves on fire.
When animals appear in paranormal videos as the protagonists, the probability of that incident being fake is very much reduced, especially when the whole context of the video is based on the accidental. What you are seeing on the screen corresponds to an intriguing recording that gave a lot to talk about a while back on social networks. It all started when a mother
These
and her
filters
son
are so
returned home
whack.
after
It's like a
having
negative
few days
filter.
off.
The cat just sitting there?
Faced with watch.
The cat is being weird. Oh no.
Explainable things happen.
Bro, that is not fucking anything. It's just a cat being a fucking weirdo.
Only Kelvin and Daisy know the magnitude of what happened that night.
Some cats just like to hang out like that.
Maybe what exists here does not scare you. Maybe it is not really paranormal. But it sure is a strange event that is worth analyzing.
Oh, it's water.
But above all, I would like to know what you think about this, since at least I could not find an explanation. Nature always gives us surprises. It is very common to see news about new species of flora and fauna that are discovered every year. But for what Dibur Camilo Gigen, a regular follower of the channel, found is simply at a higher level. In his email, he says that one day while trekking with some relatives on the outskirts of his city, he found a highly disturbing plant species on the side of a waterfall.
What?
Watch.
Whoa, those look like a little... Oh my god. Are those little plastic hands on a plant? What the fuck, dude? Who would do this? That is fucking weird, man. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in these videos. This looks like a fucking episode of Goosebumps. It looks like the man, what was the episode where the dad is in the basement turning himself into a plant man? What the fuck was that called? Stay out of the basement? That's what this looks like. Oh my god. It doesn't even make sense. Holy fuck.
Esto es algo sobrenatural, señores. Está pegada en la piedra. Mírenla, mírenla. Yo tengo hasta miedo de grabarla
Porque es que mírela, 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 mírela. Mira, es una mata sembrada que está aquí.
It's a bush planted in the stone. It's real.
Esto es algo tremendo.
This is something
sobrenatural.
supernatural.
The surprise of the young man who recorded this video says it all. Because, have you seen a species like this? Why does it have this particular shape? Could it
Let's
be
give
new
him a hand.
species? Or could we be in the presence of a whim of
Couldn't say
nature?
it myself.
As you can see, a series of questions jump out when looking at this clip. Footage that obviously draws a lot of attention. What do you think? Is it real? Let me know what you think in the comment box. Because this video has come to an end. My name is Leonore Clay, and this was The Darkest Secret.
Finger butthole.
That was my second choice. I think you understand the relevance. I think you'll get it.
Logical denial, according to the occult definition, is the natural process of not believing in something that puts our previous beliefs in check.
Because this video has
As
come
science
to an end.
advances and communications become simpler,
that's weird.
it is increasingly difficult for someone to believe in the paranormal due to how simple it is to find an explanation for certain events. However, sometimes situations occur that our
Alright.
mind cannot explain, but still we use our logical denial to make sense of it. I assume variables that may well not exist. In this video, we will put your logical denial to the test by
I don't
showing
know, I
you
checked
very
out for a minute there.
interesting clips. My name is Leonore Clay, and this is The Darkest Secret.
Yo, if you name your
Today
kid
we
Leonore,
present creepy ghost
they're gonna be a
videos
goth
that
kid.
will make you believe in
right?
the
Am I right?
paranormal. Number 5. Calvin from Cali, Colombia, is a faithful subscriber who in his email shares a video that he recorded. A video that he confesses
name
to
of the-
us still keeps him
What's her name in
intrigued.
Beetlejuice?
You see, Kelvin says that one night while in his apartment, he started recording towards the street. The
And,
idea was to have a
Edgar
video
Allan
of
Poe's
the intense
fucking-
electrical storm that hit the city at that moment. He wanted to capture the lightning and show it to his family who lived in another city. But
know
suddenly
if it was his
something
wife or
crossed
what.
the street.
All right, it was
Something
Lydia.
that still has him questioning.
But yeah, there's Edgar Allan Poe at least. You see it? You play a whale song in the background, yeah.
According to Kelvin, who has replayed this video hundreds of times, believes that something enormous, similar to the size of a school bus, flew over the street a few meters from the asphalt, and that shadow is actually the absence of rain due to the body of the object flying by.
What?
Something that, as you can see, was invisible. For one moment, if we believe his theory, you can see that the rain does seem to be noticeable when falling and hitting the top of that invisible object. For it to generate a shadow like this, the object should pass under the light. In other words, an impossible height for any plane to achieve. Also, due to the size of the shadow, it cannot be a drone. What is your logical denial telling you? Number 4.
Number 4.
In previous chapters, we have already mentioned the theory about beings from other worlds, specifically reptilians, who are put in our society with high-holding jobs as a way to keep our species in check.
What?
Observing clips on this controversial topic was how Jacqueline Blas, one of our subscribers, remembered a disturbing
There's a lot of
video
dumb
that she saw
fucking
on her social
conspiracies in these
networks,
videos, huh?
and at this time she wanted to share it with us. What is it about? Observe.
Like, already in this video. What?
As a conspiracy fanatic, Jacqueline writes her theories to us about this recording. She tells us that there are 2 types of reptilians. There are those who hide behind an
I feel like you
elaborated
could do
human
that with
disguise,
your arm.
and others who are directly
Yeah, how is
born
this
from a
like
mixture of
what?
genes between reptilians and humans, and that there are even people in this world who can have both genes without even knowing it. Women or men who have children
It's called
with
Stretch Armstrong. Have you guys seen LeBron with beans in his hands? People can do these things. No more lizard
An
people.
account that is related to a strange event that some people are seeing in the house located practically across from their own home. It was one night that with camera in hand, they began to record this.
Also, people can make things that look like people pretty goddamn good. Like, the special effects of the 80s are, like, attainable by most people, like, in their house now. You know what I mean? So you really have to, like, question the validity of everything that you see. Because
For almost
You
3
could
weeks, and for at least an hour,
make
these strange
things
movements
look like
were
things
repeated
that
inside the home.
aren't possible
People
very
walking
easily.
strangely and senselessly could be seen through the window. One night, someone was even caught staring at them from the upper balcony.
No, it's Santa. What was he recording? I don't understand that.
The event was becoming more and more disturbing. Strange behavior that became so common that it even began to occur in broad daylight.
He turned into a car.
Many followers wonder where this place is. However, until now, the owner of this account has refused to reveal this information in order to protect the neighbor, who, according to his own words, lives with the ghost of his wife. Is it just a hoax? Or do you think there is something else in this strange case? Tell me what you think. Number 2.
Personas. Where are the personas?
There is no doubt that the videos of the police cameras are the most difficult to
Yeah,
interpret.
the strange
since
behavior.
they're
This
used
guy
as
just filming his
evidence
neighbors,
in any
uploading it to
judicial
YouTube.
proceeding.
I think my
This
neighbor's
is why
walking
these
around his
recordings
house too fast.
immediately start with a higher
The fuck are
percentage
you,
of
fucking hall
credibility than the
monitor?
rest. Based on this premise, a
Fucking
disturbing recording made by a police
jerk off,
officer
you
in the
fucking-
middle of an official procedure drew attention. The image shows the officer entering an abandoned house in search of what was supposed to be a criminal. However, he never imagined what he would find inside. Watch.
Just a gun.
Get on the ground.
This is clearly not a real video.
Of course, they are not easy to intervene if they are real. But this is a completely fake video. It is
Okay.
immediately noticeable, right? Many of you sent it to me to analyze it, so I decided to add
Many of you sent this to me to analyze it.
it to this post to use it as an example.
Yeah, that was a
and to show
fucking
how to distinguish
QTE
a
failure.
fake video from a real one. What
That
you're
was
about to see
from,
now occurred after an intense
what do you
real
call it?
police operation.
I mean, I don't want to, like, I don't mind footage like this, but I really don't want to just, like, I've watched all sorts of stuff on YouTube, but I don't like when the spooky videos just start becoming, like, shootout videos and stuff. Even though I like playing games that have that, I don't know. No, fucking Twitch gets mad about stuff like that. I don't know, brother. Like, I do watch stuff like that, but I wouldn't show it on the channel. Like, I just like, you know, I like to watch like real events and people traveling and like tense videos and stuff like that. But just basically the news, you know what I mean? So I'll keep it a little wacky. We gotta leave it a little wacky. Although the one of the ghost getting shot was funny. But if that video was just gonna be like SWAT teams attacking police, I don't know. I don't know. But then again, there's channels that just exist on Twitch to like show like police footage and stuff, so I don't think it really matters. Like shootouts and stuff. But I'd rather not. Go back to and those are scary videos too, but yeah, they're definitely not. Even like true crime, like we've talked about this before, like I like that chapter a lot. There's a lot of true crime channels I watch, like when the videos come out, I watch them that day. But usually they're kind of like downers, you know, so even some of the Mr. Ballin videos are like, these awesome people got murdered and it was completely unjust. You know what I mean? So at least with the ghost videos, it's like not that.
Hello everyone.
I mean, I
My
love
name
true
is
crime.
Spooks, and today we'll take a look at 5 scary videos that will spook
But there's
you.
definitely issues.
So, let's begin.
Some angles of it, but
A YouTube channel with the username Paranormal
I don't think there's
Dwelling
anything
shared
wrong
the
with
following video to the platform on July 12th, 2020. In it,
wrong with it at
we are
all.
watching a kitchen inside somebody's house. And it doesn't take long for us to notice a
I
strange
don't know that everyone
sound
is on the same page with me
that
on
seems
that.
as though it is coming from nearby.
Yeah, I've watched Coffee House
Take a
Crime a few
listen.
times. I like them. My favorite is that chapter, though, for sure. I've watched a million of them, though. There's so many true crime YouTubers and podcasters now. Like, I love Mr. Ballin,
Afterward,
but most of his
we
stuff
hear
is
the
true
man
crime
behind
now.
the camera start to
And I wish
breathe
it was
heavily
more like
as he
paranormal
picks up
stuff.
the camera and shuts it off. He then starts recording again sometime later as soon as he hears the strange noises pick up again. The noises seem to be coming from his attic this time around, which prompts him to go up there and take a look.
Rainbot used to do a lot.
Hello? Hello?
Kyoto Roboto. I wonder if I've ever heard of that one.
Thankfully, nothing sinister was up there that was going to harm him. At least, if there is something up there, it didn't show itself. What do you think? Is this YouTuber's house being taken over by a noisy ghost? Or is this something totally harmless and easily explainable? Let me know in the comments below. Over on the UFO subreddit, a user named
Jim can't swim. I don't know if I know that is.
shared a video which was filmed in Houston,
Dude, the
Texas,
UFO
and
subreddit, the
depicts some
official
seriously
UFO
weird
subreddit?
occurrences in the sky that will make you scratch your head. The uploader explains that at the time of recording the video, she was walking her dog at precisely 9:11 p.m., which is when she suddenly noticed something incredibly strange in the sky. Take a look and see what she captured.
Oh, that's crazy. Did you just notice that? Did you just notice those? Wow, that's nuts.
What?
Wow.
Wow!
Lining up too.
Wow!
What?
Finger butthole.
They were so fast. Huh.
There's an Elden Ring monster. I mean, message.
Judging by the extremely grainy nature of the woman's video, it's fairly safe to assume that the video in question is indeed real. Whether or not it is alien aircrafts floating around in the sky,
I didn't finish Elden
however,
Ring yet.
is definitely up to interpretation. It is quite interesting that all of these lights in the sky just started moving together all at once like that. If those were not UFOs, then it is definitely something that would be hard to explain.
What would they
What are
be?
your thoughts? Is this footage of alien aircrafts flying around late at night? Or is this just some weird light display of sorts? Leave your theories in the comments.
I'm gonna go with just lights. Hey, what's up, What's up, Pika? Thank you for that
Swing
raid.
Paranormal is a smaller YouTube channel
Going
for
on?
horror
Are we
fanatics,
doing well?
but it is
Just
a great
watching some-
find nevertheless. On their channel, you
some,
can find an array of videos
amazing
relating
YouTube
to
videos.
haunted location explorations.
I think I
ghost
have that camera that guy
investigations,
has.
array of videos
This is like a super cheap camcorder you can get on Amazon for like $40.
relating to haunted location
It
explorations,
looks exactly like it.
ghost investigations, and more. In one particular upload on July 19th, 2020, the group ventures out to the Clean Water Demon House to
Thanks
see if
for
they
the
can capture
raid. Hope you're
anything
doing good.
scary on camera. If this video is indeed real, then their wish certainly came true. As soon as they arrive at the building, they begin
Is that any
exploring
good?
the premises
No,
for a
not
short
really, but
while,
that's kind of like the
gathering at
point.
the creepy and rundown state of the place. For a little bit,
Like,
it doesn't seem as though
if you want
anything chilling
lo-fi
has
footage,
happened, but that will soon change.
just use a bad
completely.
camera.
At around 9 minutes into the video, the crew attempts to use a device in the hopes to communicate with any possible spirits.
Some people
that
pay
may
like
be
hundreds of
living within
dollars
the
to
building.
like have
One
the
of
same
men
effects
then
like
asks
applied
if
to
the
their
spirit
videos.
needs any help, to which they get a response
It's
on
like,
their
no, you
device
just get a
saying, "I
crappy
do."
camera from last gen. Yeah, that's
If
like
that
the same
wasn't
thing, I think.
unsettling enough, take a look at the events that happened just seconds after.
Yeah, exactly.
Help me.
And Amazon
We
and
need our
eBay
help.
are like flooded with really cheap consumers electronics like that. That are not like reliable, but they work.
Did you see it? If not, I don't blame you, because it is incredibly hard to notice. Take a look at the bottom left corner of the screen. If you do, you should be able to see a transparent-like figure make a brief appearance before disappearing
Especially
into
when people
thin air.
want things to look
Do you
like
need our help?
the aughts in the 90s now.
Do you need our help? If you look in the bottom left corner of the screen, you can see what appears to be a white, clear-like human figure step in front of the camera and then walk back out, as if it didn't want any of us to see it. Could this be what's been making all of those noises in the bottom floor area? Do you need our help?
Or like
Videos
camera
like
phones
this
from
are
like
always going to
2005 to
cause lots of discussion
2009.
amongst the paranormal community. So I want to know what your opinion on this video is.
Oh yeah,
Is
just
it
like the
real?
odds basically. I
If
guess
so,
this is the only time they're available.
Was that a ghost caught on camera? All of your thoughts are greatly appreciated.
Yeah, you have to try pretty hard to get footage to like look like that, basically, to look like it was shot on a like Nokia camera phone from 2006.
A Reddit user named ESCOSeason95 took to the ghost subreddit to share a creepy video that he took on his phone. The uploader explains, quote,
Now we got a
"I was
Chills
messing around
reference
with
here.
my dog. Just us two were home, and my door did this. No open windows, my door doesn't automatically close, and I can't think of an explanation." End quote. Take a look at the video and see if you can come up with any sort of answer.
I don't... Bro. What are you doing to your dog?
The video
He's
should
like
make you scratch
inspecting
your
his
head in
dog's mouth to
confusion.
see if he could
If
like
there really aren't any open
recreate
windows in
the way it looked in
house,
the
then
picture.
how could this happen? Let's
Leave the dog out of it,
February
man.
28th, 2014, a YouTuber going by the name of Core's Son shared the following video to his channel with the simple and
Excuse me,
eerie
what's the name?
title being "My House is Haunted."
Colon and then nothing else. There's nothing else after that. I don't believe that. My house is haunted, colon. You trying to say something about his colon?
At the beginning of the video, the man filming says that he has been
My
filming
insides are
weird
haunted?
things happening in his apartment and has shared them with his YouTube subscribers. However, he says that ever since moving out, he has still been experiencing similar incidents. He also said that while eating in the kitchen, his overhead lamp was moving around and wanted to set up a camera to
Two-sentence
see
horror
if he could
story.
capture it on camera.
My
The
colon
man
is
says
haunted.
that as soon as he pressed record, this happened. Take a look.
And as soon as, like literally as soon as I hit record, this happened.
I think I've seen this video before. We've seen this on the channel. He like gets beat up by the chair.
So I ran upstairs. I'm in the back room. Like that's the stairway right there, leading downstairs, and I'm kind of creeped out right now.
At first, it may seem like somebody behind the camera pulled some sort of a string in order to get the chair to move. Because when the chair moves at the beginning, we don't actually see the man on screen. It's only after the chair moves that we see him. But then, he heads on over to where the chair is and begins brushing his hand over the area, which is when the chair moves again, this time with him on screen. It's absolutely a strange video that is sure to leave you guessing and wanting an explanation. There has never been a concrete answer behind this video, which makes it all the more creepy. Here's hoping that Carl's son's house isn't still being haunted all these
Carl's
years later.
son?
And that was 5 scary videos that will spook you. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then subscribe for more scary content. My name is Sir Spooks, and I'll see you all.
Here's a link to that video if you want to check it out. Would like to investigate for yourself? Yeah, that was a weird one. Let's watch. This nuke video says 5 scary ghost videos that will mess you up, bro. I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, I've watched some ghost videos on YouTube.
Top 5 ghosts caught on camera.
Wouldn't recommend it.
The West Virginia Penitentiary. The infamous West Virginia Penitentiary is one of the oldest prisons in the United States. The sprawling fortress-like prison operated from 1876 to 1995. It housed some of the world's most dangerous inmates. In fact, after numerous horrifying attacks and homicides in the penitentiary, the U.S. Department of Justice named the prison one of the 10 most violent correctional facilities in the U.S. Almost 1,000 men lost their lives in the West Virginia Penitentiary, either by sickness, execution, or the frequent brutal attacks by fellow inmates. The Foreman brothers, Josh, Rocky, and Sean, from the YouTube channel Paranormal Nightmare, traveled to the small town of Moundsville to investigate the allegedly haunted West Virginia Penitentiary.
Right now we're here at West Virginia State Penitentiary. We're going to get started in the cell block area. This area here is where they housed most of the violent inmates.
In 1986, a brutal attack by a fellow inmate ended the life of prisoner Red Snyder. Many claim to have seen Red's ghost still walking the prison halls.
Red, my name is Josh.
Bread.
Rocky and Sean.
Only
they were talking about you earlier today.
Some of you will know this VIDYABUM deep lore.
Brutally murdered you right here in this cell.
Yeah, I framed that in a totally dumb way.
Can you see us? Let us know if you're in here.
I was gonna say Reds used to be my name.
Then I asked.
Sometimes I think about switching it back to that. Back to Reds from VIDYABUM.
Josh and Rocky Foreman head to the second floor cell block to do a spirit box session. They capture some very bizarre and unsettling responses.
I don't think I would.
Is this your cell? I'm no longer in prison. Where are you at if you're not in prison?
His hat just says 1941.
Are you free?
I'm sorry, that is... What? Like, I'm that into World War II, I wear a 1941 hat? That's fucking weird to me. I just wear a fucking USS Massachusetts hat, like everybody else.
Can you still hear us? Yes?
1941!
Say Josh? Then say it. Say Josh.
It reminds me of, what is the Capcom game? 1942? 1941? Is it 1941? Battle of Midway? Love that game. But that's like immediately what I think of. It's just 1941 Battle of Midway.
On the prison's main
it's like the
floor
same fucking font too.
Hallway,
it was 42.
Suddenly they see this.
I played 1942 probably more than any of my other NES games when I was a kid. I played that shit all the fucking time. And I was awful at it. But I loved it.
Shadow.
It's an arcade game too, I
shadowy
think.
figure seems to just appear out of thin air at the end of the hallway. Then walks out of sight.
This handle. Look how high that handle is.
Yeah, I played so much.
My heart is racing.
Go stand
I played that game a lot.
This handle.
You can clearly see on the video as Sean walks by. His shadow
Clearly see.
The Paranormal Nightmare team tries to debunk this bizarre shadow figure, but they come up with no answers. So is this the ghost of
I think
one
it
of
was
the
on
inmates
Nick
who lost
Arcade a
his
couple
life in the
times too,
prison?
1942.
You decide. Over on their YouTube channel, Paranormal Nightmare TV
Yeah, it's just a
series,
shmup,
you can check
World
out
War
more
II
of the
shmup.
Foreman brothers and their paranormal investigations. Hider in the house. Chilean TikTok user
Shmups were like
Franco
some of my
Villegas
favorite
claims
though
that
on
lately odd
NES. Like
supernatural activity has been
I played
occurring in his home. He says
Dino
that he's
Ricky.
seen unexplained shadows.
I played Dino
experience
Ricky all the
sleep
time.
paralysis,
My grandma
and
gave me
most
that.
bizarre of all, he says that some unseen thing actually bit him on the back. Franco decides to set up a small CCTV camera to record himself as he sleeps.
Yeah, there was like multiples. There's 41, then 42. I thought so. It starts off and it's like clearly highlighting that it's a sequel. Like I remember the very beginning.
A blurry white figure seems to appear on camera. Oddly enough, whatever it is doesn't seem to upset or excite Franco's dog. It continues to sleep through the entire incident.
Oh,
3 days
fuck.
later,
You know what I just
Franco's
remembered
bedsheet
that
is
I
pulled
have? I
off
think it's
by
probably unlisted.
something.
My
But
top
it
10
doesn't
favorite
end
NES
there.
games ever.
2 days
I made a
later,
video.
on April 30th,
like one
Franco
of the.
Villegas starts to hear knocking on his
All right.
bedroom door.
Sorry, Nuke. We'll come back to you. We're talking about NES, though. Let's go off the rail here a little bit. I don't know. I think it was just because I was like, yeah, this video sucks. And I like hit it. Not really that bad. But it has some NES games on it. But I was probably just going to start talking about it. So I may as well just watch this video. It still exists. It'd be dumb if I took it down. I don't think I deleted it. Ding. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Where is it? There it is. Oh, yeah, there it is. It's right after a Shovel Knight review I made. 2014, I uploaded this video. That's fucking crazy. This is a VIDYABUM classic from the vault. 2014. It's when I used to like write articles for this website. Underrated Retro.
The story of Punch-Out starts with a Nintendo arcade machine which was released in 1984. Once the Nintendo Entertainment System was released and its popularity began to skyrocket, the decision was made to port the arcade game to the Nintendo Entertainment System. The R&D team realized that they weren't going to be able to port the game in its entirety to cartridge form without massive changes being made to the game. As a result, Nintendo opted to shrink down the boxer so that the opposing character sprite would be more
business,
visible.
Jeff.
The shrunken boxer the player controlled would become known as Little Mac. Most of these changes were orchestrated by Nintendo's Research and Development Division, which was helmed by Genyo Takada. He was also well known for creating Punch-Out and the Star Tropics franchise. Nintendo's R&D department is also well known for producing Ice Hockey, Pilot Wings 64, and more recently, Pokemon Puzzle.
IGN show, Jeff.
If you've
Well,
ever
you have to
played a Nintendo
consider
game with a dedicated
this is 2014, so like, yeah, I would aspirations of being like, oh man, I could make a video and everyone will watch it. It'll be awesome. Like, there'll be no reason no one would not watch this video, right? But as I was doing this, so was 8,000 million other fucking people. You know what I mean?
dedicated save feature
In a much better way.
Genyo Takada. Genyo came up with the idea to use a small battery in the game cartridge that allows the player to use save files.
And it had already been done.
This was first
Like
implemented in
AVGN
The
had done
Legend
all
of
this,
Zelda.
you know,
Of
years
course,
before,
this
obviously.
feature was not used in
So it was
Punch-Out,
nothing
which is
original.
famous for its
It's a fucking
10-digit
top 10
password
list.
system. The development of Punch-Out for the Nintendo Entertainment System was happening around the same time when a young
But it's just
boxer named
cool
Mike
for some-
Tyson was making his way up to
some
the
flavor,
upper
I guess.
hierarchy of the World Heavyweight Boxing League. Nintendo of America's founder and president at the time, Minoru Arakawa, attended the match featuring the
But
talented
what's
Mike
weird
Tyson.
to think, this is actually right before I became a mod for Vinny. Like, we had been hanging out. This is actually the year that we met earlier in 2014 at PAX. So hanging out with him had actually influenced me a lot to start doing this too. Because I'd been watching the stream and then we met up at PAX East that year and we hung out a bunch and we went to the bar and stuff. And then we went to we went to the AVGN premiere shit that summer.
Taken back with the boxer's power and skill, he decided to ask Tyson if he could use his name and likeness in the game. Tyson agreed, which was fortunate for Nintendo, as this occurred before Tyson won the World Boxing Council Heavyweight Championship, after which the boxer's fame would really take off. Nintendo had a 3-year agreement
What
with
is this?
Tyson.
Oh,
in
this
terms
is
of
just
using his
about
name and likeness
this
in
is
the
just about
cartridge.
Total Punch-Out.
However, Nintendo chose not to pursue any further partnership with Tyson once
This
the
isn't a top
contract
10.
expired. Surprisingly, this was decided before Tyson would begin.
I don't want to listen to me talk about fucking Mike Tyson's Punch-Out anymore. Where's the top 10 video? Oh, here it is. This one's even older.
My body was ready.
Oh my god. No, it's only just like a few weeks older. Look at this fucking template.
My body was ready.
This is July 3rd, 2014. This premiered. How do I feel? I don't feel. It's just the same, I guess. It's not like going from 12 to 22. You know what I mean? So going from 20 to 30.
The game that started the Gauntlet Legends series. Gauntlet is a NES version of the famous arcade game. You can pick from 4 different characters: the warrior, the wizard, the Amazon, and the elvish archer.
Oh my god, I do kind of hate the way I'm like, each
character has his own strength.
Like, you listen to some YouTubers and they do the same like stanzas like that all the time. Like, I don't. If you listen to someone long enough, it's like, wow, you're just saying you are talking the same every time you talk.
And speeds and skills. This game gets fairly challenging the further the game progresses. The graphics were very innovative for its time, and the bird's eye view of the player was not something done successfully often on the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Audio mixing's bad too.
Double Dragon was a beat-em-up released in 1987. It is often considered the first successful title in the genre. As the game begins, a woman is punched in the stomach and kidnapped by a gang of ruffians. The player must pursue the deviants to rescue his alleged girlfriend.
Like, definitely had the fucking thesaurus out next to me when I was like trying to write this, apparently. The deviants and the ruffians.
Without this game, we might not have had titles like Final Fight or River City Ransom. One of the odd things about this game is if you play it through co-op, you must actually fight your partner at the end to determine who gets the girl. Good old 1987.
I was fucking woke. Woke as fuck.
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers is actually a great game and a personal favorite of mine. It's the first Capcom title on this list. Capcom is very well known for their early work on the NES and Super Nintendo. The music, sound effects, and graphics are usually very impressive for their time. Chip and Dale is no
I fucking
exception.
love this game.
It's a fun platformer that also has co-op.
I loved Chip and Dale when I was
Sold
real little.
particularly well in the
I
US,
played this a
shipping over
lot.
1.2 million copies.
This fucking game was great.
Chip and Dale was one of the very few games based on a show or movie that was also actually decent, so it has that going for it too.
Dude, my mom told me, I remember like a few years ago, she told me about a dream I told her about Inspector Gadget when I was a kid that like scared her. And I just brought that, I just thought of that when you said that about Inspector Gadget. Like, I had like a dream about a weird Inspector Gadget and I was like telling her about it. Look, there's a mouse. Hell yeah.
DuckTales, another great Capcom title on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Based on the comic book and television show of the same name, DuckTales is an action platformer game that sees the player controlling Scrooge McDuck as he travels the globe, attempting to gather more wealth than his rival, Flintheart Glomgold. Another million-copy seller for Capcom, DuckTales would even go on to outsell Mega Man on the NES.
I don't know, there was like a weird
Capcom
Inspector
was
Gadget and he had like a
popular
dark
title on the
coat.
platform.
I don't know. I'll have to ask her again.
Gunsmoke is a Western-style scrolling shooter. The player controls a bounty hunter who is hunting various criminals. Despite the name, it shares no relation to the popular Western television show. Another Capcom title, it shares a very similar game mechanics to its other ilk, such as 1942 or Commando.
It's other ilk.
The player must travel through several Western-style levels, gathering money from dispatching enemies until they have enough money to purchase a
I still
wanted
do
poster.
this shit sometimes. I feel like
This
trying
gives
not to
the
do
player
that.
access to the level's boss. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The arcade game holds a special spot in many of our hearts. I, like many others born in the mid-80s,
In many of our hearts,
loved
Reddit.
the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. From the animated television show to the action figures to anything Turtles I could get my hands on, I just loved it all.
Yeah.
This love was culminated by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game Konami released in 1989 and the home version for the NES. Though the NES version was nothing compared to the arcade version, it was the best Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game you could get your hands on, especially compared to that first disaster.
A little bit more edgy.
Side-scrolling beat-em-up was one of the greatest NES games ever released, allowing the player and a friend to choose whichever turtle they liked best. Donatello Master Race. And then battle through the likes of Bebop, Rocksteady, Baxter Stockman.
Yeah, people used to say like
Krang, and of
everything
course,
Master
Shredder.
Race back then too. PC Master Race. Yo, this game. I fucking love this game. I need to find an actual copy of this one.
Guerrilla Wars is a great game that I played constantly as a child. This game is a great shoot 'em up, developed by SNK, who brings us other great titles such as Metal Slug.
Holy shit, this
and
mixing
Samurai
is so
Shodown.
bad.
Apparently, the Japanese version has the player assuming the role of Che Guevara as he tackles the regime with Batista. Player 2 is none other than Fidel Castro. Of course, when the game came to the West, it was localized so as not to offend us capitalist pigs. However, after the title screen, you clearly see Che posing. In this version, you assume the role of a commando who seeks to liberate an island from its dictator.
That game really is a lot of fun. I love this game. I guess I didn't put 1942 on here.
I wanted to include more Mega Man games on this list, but let's be realistic. Most of the list would have been Mega Man games. So I decided to just go with my favorite one from the franchise. Mega Man 2, another Capcom game, is one of the best NES games there is out there. It improves drastically on most of the gameplay of the original Mega Man. The bosses are much more interesting, the levels have much more of their own style, and the music is simply brilliant. Though extremely challenging, this game has an awesome ending that needs to be experienced at least once.
Up, up, up. This is pretty predictable at this point, I guess. Like, what do you think number one is going to be that I haven't mentioned?
Super Mario Bros. 3 is, in my opinion, one of the greatest games of all time. So much of what later go on to become a major staple of every Mario game was introduced in this title. Super Mario Bros. 1 laid down the foundation for most of the elements of the Super Mario
right,
Bros.
Halo.
Franchise, but Super Mario Bros. 3 really enforced them, and added to the charm that made Mario games so great. The overworld was a great addition to the game and gave the player the option to go certain paths or to avoid levels altogether. It gave
John
Super Mario
Chief was
Bros.
my
some
stepdad.
nonlinear gameplay. It's the little things. The graphics and the music were bounds better than Super Mario Bros. 1, and you could also travel backwards through levels, as opposed to only being able to go left.
If I had stuck with this, I would have been fine, I'm sure. Like, I probably wouldn't have been, like, in, like, huge channel, but I was fine. I just didn't keep doing
This
it, I
is
guess.
This is the one that changed it all. The Legend of Zelda, the grandfather of all great adventure games. This
Did I
game
say
was
go
not meant
left?
to be
What the
played
fuck?
in one sitting, hence the useful save feature, one of the first NES games to offer such a system that was actually useful. Here we are, almost 30 years later, and it still manages to stand out over so many games. It's a fairly simple idea. Search the land for the 8 pieces of Triforce, each hidden in their own dungeon with their own powerful guardian. Only after collecting the 8 pieces can you reach the final dungeon,
Yeah, I just
which
should've stuck
imprisons
with it,
Princess
honestly.
Zelda. Of course, first you must fight Ganon.
I mean, I don't regret not.
This game
but
set the standards that are still relevant today.
I could have been a Nintendo tuber. There was time.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to say thanks very much for watching the video. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it.
Those aren't even
If you
my
wanna see
handles
similar
anymore, I
content,
think.
please subscribe to me on YouTube or
I think
follow
my
me on
Twitter is just VIDYABUM now.
Let me know what you thought of my favorite NES games, and you can share some of your own by commenting below. Thanks again.
All right, thank you for watching that. There's a link to it. It's unlisted, but you can comment it out if you want. Maybe I'll relist it real quick. All right. Let's finish that nuke video. Yeah, there was a point where I like really just enjoyed everything that was happening on YouTube. Like I was like, oh dude, fucking I love the completionist. I could do this video. I could make one like this too. And like I wanted to do it, but that's also, like I said, that's when I started getting into streaming way more. And like hanging out with people on Twitch and then just devoting way more time into streaming. But it's not like it's the end of time. I could still do stuff like that. I just don't know if I'm in that place where I'd be making Nintendo top 10 videos, you know what I mean?
Nada, para ser concreto, como ven, no tengo audio ni.
But in retrospect, I think, yeah, that was pretty good.
Nada, me golpearon
Pretty
la
good
puerta
production values.
Muy fuerte, y
I wrote
estoy solo.
script, all the things.
Despertamos todos los gatos y están todos muy fijos en la puerta, así que voy a mover la cámara.
It was definitely like baby's first video, but
Hacia allá. Veremos mañana en la mañana o en la madrugada si capto algo.
I learned a lot
So
since
Franco
then too.
changes the angle of the CCTV camera to point towards his door. 5 days go by without incident. But on May 5th, as Franco sleeps, his security camera catches something truly chilling.
Truly chilling. Do you think I actually sound like I'm like fucking smoking packs and stuff though, compared to what my voice used to sound like? Like I sound better now, right?
The camera records what seems to be the
quality-wise,
face of a girl
right?
peeking into Franco's room as he sleeps.
It's just
In
a lady.
desperation, Franco asks his TikTok viewers for advice on what to do about the strange spirit that seems to haunt his home. One viewer recommends an odd sort of seance, saying that Franco should try talking to the spirit while holding a candle in front of a mirror.
Estoy solo acá en el baño. Bueno, me dijeron que he traído una vela y un espejo y iba a poder hablar con ella. Amiga, por favor, te pido que me dejes solo. Te lo pido, por favor. ¡Ah, conchetumare!
Now, I'm certainly not saying that this footage is real, but what makes it more compelling is that Franco clearly shows that the bathtub is empty and that he's alone only seconds before the girl appears. One night, Franco is filming one of his cats playing, and what happens next is truly bizarre.
Hay ruido en el primer piso. Está... ¡Ah, conche! ¡Ey! ¡Ey! Ah, no, güey.
Cat stole it.
¡Ah, conchetumare!
No mummies.
So, is Franco Villegas' house truly haunted? Or is it all just an elaborate hoax? You decide. You can follow Franco's continuing story over on his TikTok page. Out of Step. TikTok user BetsAnAngel69 is a 44-year-old mother of 3 that mainly uses her TikTok account to keep up with her older children. One day, when looking across the street from where she lives, she notices a mysterious figure pacing back and forth. She took a video of it and shared it with one of her friends.
Enlarged 3 times. The TV is like so distracting.
The next day, the figure is back.
I don't know about anyone else, but whenever I'm like watching something and I hear a TV like that, I'm always trying to figure out what the fuck they're watching.
Again.
I don't know why.
It paces back and forth for hours on end. Bet thinks that whoever it is might have a mental illness, which would explain the erratic behavior.
What?
She records again, and
Or
this
it just
time
could be
posts the
nothing.
video on
It
TikTok
could just
to
be
see
fucking
what other
fuzz.
people think.
WTH?
Talia, get over here.
It's a fucking Bigfoot.
I can't even zoom in any closer. You see it? It just walks back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
In the comments on her TikTok, Bets and Angel 69 gets many questions about the history of the location, and some viewers even wonder if the event might be of a paranormal nature. Bet follows up with another video.
Okay, so everybody that's been kind of curious, this is the church that's directly across the street from my house that I was explaining. This is the area where we see that figure. It just walks back and forth every day, all day. Now, I've been over there a couple of times. As I walk up on it, there's just nothing there.
Now, whoever or whatever the figure might be, it seems that Bet's dog is a little freaked out as well.
Okay. The dog barking at it. The dog barking at it. With the dog bark. What do you mean? If you're a pet owner and you are thinking there's something happening every time your dog barks.
When Bet sees the figure again, she
Gonna have a tough
decides to go
time.
take a look, but she's too scared to go alone. She brings her husband along, and they go to investigate.
My husband has agreed to walk me over and...
Bets an Angel 69.
I can't believe you talked me into this.
What? What does that name mean?
Here's the spot.
I don't see anything.
No, I don't either.
It sounds like a couple's like fucking
Full.
thruple
Hello?
fucking account on Tinder or
Is
some
anybody
shit.
there? I'm so nervous. What was that?
I don't know.
Do you need help? This is the moment we turned and ran. It might not seem that scary on camera, but when we were up that close, it was so loud, and it was just this almost guttural scream. This is the moment we heard it and ran. You can kind of see us back there.
I'm on Pola.
And we took off. My poor husband was like, "F this." He kept looking back. I think at one point he was like, "F TikTok, I'm out of here. This is done."
Fuck TikTok.
Now, did Bets and Angel 69 capture a ghost stuck in a
Whoa,
recurring
first of all, did you see how fast that car was going? What?
loop? Could it just be some deranged person and nothing paranormal at all? Or is it all just a hoax? Let me know what you think.
Yes.
Check out Bets and Angel's TikTok page to follow her continuing story. The Watcher. Ghost hunting channel Polish Paranormal TV explores an allegedly haunted building deep in the woods near the city of Katowice,
I was gonna say, it better be in
Poland.
Poland, right?
A dark history surrounds
Sped
the
up? Yeah,
location.
that was just being
Only a
facetious.
month prior to the investigation, the burned body of a homeless man was discovered by an unsuspecting hiker. Since then, there have been rumors of weird and unexplained things happening to all who enter the abandoned house. Before Polish Paranormal TV start their investigation, they check the grounds to
Yeah,
make
everyone
sure
is
that
in
they
the
are
woods.
completely alone.
This is just mentally unstable, apparently.
Zrobiliśmy już
Bro, I'm going for a walk.
Jesteśmy totalnie
What do you
sami.
mean?
Nie ma tutaj
I
nikogo.
don't know, I'm just
oprócz
saying, I
nas.
don't think people should be out in the woods.
Wchodzimy do środka. Dobra. Jak widzicie, budynek jednak jest trochę w średnim stanie. Tylko już w środku.
Once inside the house, they immediately begin to hear strange noises.
His friend looked like a fucking like.
Jeżeli jesteś tutaj z nami,
comrade
daj nam
for a
znać.
second.
Będziemy wiedzieć, że jesteś i odejdziemy. Każdy odejdzie w swoją stronę. Już tu więcej nie wrócimy.
Probably, depending on how many people are around where you live. I mean, if I looked out my window and I saw someone like walking by it was late, I'd be like, what the hell? But I guess it just depends on who's looking out the window, who's got the eagle eyes.
Czasem tak bywa w takich miejscach.
Now, the guys laugh it off at first, but things get a bit more serious when they get a direct response to a question.
Masz kolejną szansę, możesz się z nami skomunikować. Daj jakiś znak, że tutaj jesteś. Kto tu jest? Skąd to było?
Nie mam pojęcia.
What?
Ale coś kurwa słyszę.
They keep hearing odd sounds around the house, but they can't find the source. But their YouTube viewers were shocked when they noticed this.
Shocked.
Kto tu jest?
What?
Kto tu jest?
Did you see it? The Polish ghost hunters didn't notice at the time or even point it out in their video, but someone seems to be walking around the corner just as they check the staircase.
Someone.
Kto tu jest? Halo? Nie, no bez jaj. Cisza.
Right.
Idź do piwnicy.
Go to the basement.
Now, it certainly could just be a homeless man in the building that came to check out the noise. But again, I remind you, before the investigation, the Polish Paranormal TV crew inspected the entire building to make sure they were alone. So, what do you think? Is it a paranormal entity or just a wandering homeless man? Let me know down in the comments. A quiet voice. Popular YouTuber and paranormal explorer Ricky Velasquez frequently does live streams while exploring allegedly haunted locations in Mexico.
We've seen this guy a bunch of times.
In this live stream, Ricky and a female friend are exploring a haunted house in Ciudad Guzman, Mexico. They begin to hear what sounds like the voice of a little girl. They call out to the child, and that's when things get truly bizarre.
Niña,
Bizarre.
chiquita.
¿Cómo te llamas? Ya vi.
Niña.
Párate aquí, aquí, aquí. ¿Escuchaste? ¿Escuchaste?
No, no, que me.
Hola. ¿Te podemos ver?
Niña.
¿Quieres que te veamos? Manifiéstate.
Niña.
Yo no voy a correr.
Escucha como que se queja, pobrecita. Niña. Chiquita.
Déjanos verte, no te vamos a lastimar.
Chiquita.
Let us see you.
asómate.
Yo no la veo.
I don't see you.
¿Y si me asomo nada más yo?
¿Ya la viste? ¿Ya la viste?
Sí, ya se la vi, no sé si la grabaste.
¿Ya la viste? La vieron.
So, did Ricky Velasquez capture the ghost of a little girl on his live stream? What do you think? You can see the full investigation over on Ricky Velasquez YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. To submit or suggest videos, email me at nukestop5@gmail.com. And also for many random things, follow me on Twitter at nukestop5.
All right. Let's watch. Let's watch. Damn, I think we watched all these. Here we go.
I wasn't really looking forward to another summer job at the local pizza restaurant, which is why I was thrilled when I received an unexpected phone call from my uncle, offering me a job at the hotel he owned.
This is that 3D channel.
He needed to visit an old friend at the hospital, and told me that I was the only one he could trust with such an important job. It was quite late by the time I arrived at the hotel, and it had been raining for most of the day. My uncle had already left and hadn't had time to explain exactly what I needed to do, but he told me that he had left a note outlining some very important rules that he insisted I follow. The hotel lobby was completely empty, which kind of made sense considering the late hour and the fact that the area was quite remote and wasn't really well known for its nightlife.
It's basically pizza.
The interior of the hotel was very cold and dark. The lights were on but were
Very
extremely
cheesy.
dim, so there wasn't much illumination at all, apart from the odd flash of lightning. The lack of tapestry and carpet was evident, which explained the echoes of distant thunder and rain throughout the hotel. That being said, I could definitely appreciate the appeal of staying at such a place, secluded from the outside world, providing a form of escape for the guests. I approached the reception desk and observed a handwritten note. The note was very short, but I paid close attention to every word. To my dear nephew, thanks for stepping in so quickly. I know we haven't seen each other in a very long time, but I didn't know who else to call. The hotel is fully booked, so you won't be receiving any new guests while I'm gone. Please just follow these simple rules
Does he have
and
to, like,
everything will be just
manage
fine.
the hotel? What the fuck?
Do not disturb the guests for any reason. No knocking. They must not be disturbed by any means. The grandfather clock at the end of the hall is very old and very loud and must never be allowed to chime. As it approaches 12 o'clock, turn the clock back, but also make sure that it remains as accurate as possible. The clock must never stop. There are no room numbers at this hotel, but you will be able to find your room easily, since it is the only door with a handle. If you get hungry, I've prepared some food for you in the kitchen. Good luck, and I'll see you in a few days. P.S. You'll find your key behind the desk. I took the key from the rack behind the desk, and slowly proceeded up the large staircase, which eventually led me to the main hallway. I was relieved to see that
Yeah,
the
what the
only
fuck
door
is this
with a
story?
handle on it stood at the entrance of the hallway. I used my key and stepped inside.
Sounds like a fucking riddle.
It wasn't the Hilton, but still a major step up from my last job, and for just 2 days, I could sleep pretty much anywhere. The storm showed no signs of letting up, but at least there weren't any leaks in the ceiling. As the hour approached midnight, I prepared to set the clock back. I quietly crept down the hallway, observing each door as I passed by. I was still a bit confused about the clock, but I assumed it also had something to do with not disturbing the guests. It seemed like the other doors could only be opened and closed from the inside, which I thought was strange, but knowing my uncle, there was probably a good reason for it. As I reached the old grandfather clock at the end of the hallway, I couldn't help but observe the amazing attention to detail. It looked very old and heavy and felt like it was custom made specifically for the hotel. I turned back the hands of the clock until they were just after midnight. However, I still needed to wait a few more minutes before making a final correction to ensure that the time remained accurate. While I was waiting, I glanced down the long hallway and noticed a faint light coming from beneath one of the doors. It looked like someone was having trouble sleeping, or perhaps just afraid of the dark. I made a small adjustment to the clock, turning the hands back again very slightly, and made my way back to my room. As I passed the room with the light on, I could hear what sounded like voices coming from the other side. The fact that I couldn't understand what was being said just made me even more curious, but as I got closer, I felt this terrible chill which gave me this uncanny feeling that something bad was about to happen. I hurried back to my room where I tried desperately to shake this feeling of what I could only describe as a fear of impending doom. I headed straight back to bed and just cleared my conscience of these strange thoughts and feelings and eventually fell fast asleep. The following night presented me with yet another spell of cold and stormy weather. I guess it was quite typical for the region, but I was surprised by how much rainfall
The
there had
windows
been
on this
since I
place
arrived.
are so weird too. Looks like a
Apart from the
church.
occasional rumble of thunder, the day
Like
had
if I
been
saw that
extremely
from the
quiet, with
outside,
no
I would think that
requests
that's a
or
church.
interactions from any of the guests whatsoever. I had already turned the clock back at 12 noon, and there wasn't all that much else to do.
Looks
This
like a
job was turning
sitcom
out to be a
hotel,
lot
too.
easier than I imagined. I was still feeling tired, having not slept very well the night before, and it was still around 4 hours before midnight. I could hardly keep my eyes open, so I opted for an early night's sleep and set an alarm on my phone to remind me to change the clock back once again. I quickly drifted off into a deep sleep. Suddenly, in the middle of the night, I awoke. I looked at the clock on the table and couldn't believe my eyes as they focused on the time. It was
Just-
exactly 11:59.
Some animatronics
I
start
didn't
walking
hear any
around.
alarm go off, and there was no time to find out why. I panicked and rushed into the long hallway.
Oh no, the cross fell.
By the time I reached the clock, it
That's
was
not
already
good.
too late.
Shit. Background of that clock is weird.
Perhaps none of the guests heard the clock over the sound of the rain and thunder outside, but either way, I knew I had let my uncle down and felt completely doomed. But I realized none of that mattered when I turned around to face the hallway.
Let down the uncle. Oh, fuck. Why are their arms long?
Luckily, it was all just a bad dream. A terrible nightmare, probably manifesting an underlying sense of fear that I wouldn't wake up in time. The strange thing was, it turned out that the battery on my phone went dead during the night, and I would have overslept had it not been for the terrible dream. Fortunately, I still had 5 minutes to walk down the hall and turn the clock back. I was quite sure that my phone was fully charged when I set the alarm, and I wondered what could possibly cause the battery to drain so quickly.
What could have caused it? Ba-na-na. Interesting. The cross was on the ground. It wasn't a dream. Is there more to that? Or is that the whole story? I guess so, yeah. Yeah, the upside down cross at the end revealed that he did, in fact, miss the midnight ring. Insane. All right, I'm going to wrap it up, everybody. I just wanted to do a quick little stream, see what's going on. I'm going to go do some other things. But thank you for hanging out. And I will be back tomorrow night. Maybe even another time. I don't know. We'll see what happens, though. All right, again, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Take it easy. Thanks for coming through. And we'll see you guys in the future. I'll see you, tomorrow, I think, at some point. So if you're around, want to come by the stream, keep an eye out. Till then, take care, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Have a good night. Later, everybody.